Hey guys, happy Sunday and a big welcome to you all on this evening's Coach Live. Now, in this evening's live, I'm going to be talking all about plateaus. And I don't know if anyone has experienced a weight loss plateau. You might be in one a little bit at the moment, or you might have heard about it, but you haven't quite experienced one yet. Just to give a little bit of relatability, what I'd like to do is introduce you guys to a scenario that you may be able to relate to, perhaps one that you're currently going through right now. So let's just say we've come off the back of Christmas, we've gone through January, you've been consistently tracking for a few weeks, even the past month. You've been planning loads of meals, getting those 0 point foods used in lots of recipes, getting some activity in. You've been going through your weekly check-ins and you're steadily, healthily losing weight each week on a nice sort of linear curve that goes down like this. You're feeling really good about things, and then perhaps another week rolls around. You don't really see much change on the scale. Perhaps there's little to even no loss. You think, oh, am I doing something right? What's going on? You keep going another week, same thing happens, little to no loss week. Potentially you've reached a plateau. My first tip with everyone, or my first thing I wanted to get into, is specifically about some science behind plateaus and the weight loss journey, okay? And specifically, I wanted to do this with a little bit of a visual aid, which you'll see in a second. I wanted to explain how the weight loss journey is non-linear, okay? So what that means is we can often have a perspective or an expectation that our weight loss journey will go down in a nice linear curve, just as you can see there, or linear line, sorry, just as you can see there on the graph. And it's going to go like that the whole time as we keep going through our weight loss journey. And what I want to clarify with everyone is that it's perfectly normal and indeed part of the journey to have little to no loss weeks as you progress, okay? So you're not doing anything wrong. It's completely normal at some point. And in fact, for anyone that is new, perhaps you've been with us a month or two, your first weeks are going to be the ones where you experience the majority of your weight loss. So in fact, the first few weeks, you will see more of that line, and then it will start to even out, and it won't be quite as significant as the weeks and the months go on. So that's the first thing I want to make clear to everyone, no matter where you're at. The weight loss journey is non-linear, and there are going to be multiple periods where you have a little to no loss week. Doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It's just as you go through your weight loss journey, your body's adapting to how things go, and it's completely normal, all right? So there's lots of reasons why the plateau actually occurs. And specifically when it comes to the reality of what it looks like, there's a slightly different graph that I want to show you guys. So this next one is the reality. So the expectation is that curve. The reality looks a little like this, all right? So just check out this next graph so you can see what I mean. So specifically, the reality of the weight loss journey, it has that bit at the beginning that gets a nice decline. You get to maybe your third, fourth month, it starts to even out a bit. There's little to no loss. Then month 5 to 6, you're going to get a bit more of a decline. Perhaps you have a challenging few weeks and you'll gain a little bit. And then eventually, as you get towards the end of the year, as you can see there on that graph, you will get there with where you want to be. And the reason I wanted to show you the difference between expectation and reality is because once you see visually how it's meant to look over the course of a year, and the reason I wanted to show it to you guys over the course of the year is, number one, because it's not about a quick fix, and number two, here at WW, we're all about sustainability and longevity. So I want you to know that throughout the program, we've got it covered that there will be expectations, or sorry, reality of some little to no loss and even gain weeks and months, okay? So I wanted to show you that in the graph just to kind of give you a little bit of a visualization. Now, with that being the case, now that's kind of plateaus explained, the reality and the expectations, what I now want to do is get into what I would call like the 3 main tips, which are proven to help shift the scale, give you a bit of a nudge when it comes to getting past that plateau, all right? The first bit I want to talk about is, this is more of like making sure you're tracking accurately, you're keeping tabs on everything you're having, and potentially looking to switch up a little bit your tracking routine if necessary. So let me break this down a little bit. Even with the best intentions, when it comes to tracking, sometimes, and this is completely normal, we can forget to include everything. And when I mean everything, I mean the very, very small details like the sauces, the sugars that we maybe have in extra teas and coffees, the oils that we use when we're cooking with, any other kind of sides that potentially we put on, the snacks throughout the day. The reason I have brought this up as something to really make sure that we're being mindful of is because accurate tracking equals accurate results. And I get that we'll never get it perfect, okay? It's not about getting it perfect, but it's about being as mindful as possible about all of those little things. So making sure that you're really getting the accurate details of everything you're having, that's where you are gonna start to make some of the difference by incorporating those small little things, okay? And if I said to you, let's look back on the past week worth of eating and drinking, could you honestly account for absolutely everything you had from Monday pretty much through until today? I'm talking all the sides, extras, and everything you might have put in your daily and weekly eating. It's going to be quite tough. So one thing I will say is just always ensure that oils, sauces, sugars, these all add up. So make sure you're popping them in as well when your recipes with your cooking, what you might be having with your snacks, absolutely everything, okay? Make sure it's all accounted for. Each biscuit, whatever other snacks you might like, each drink, each piece of fruit, they all count, okay? The next bit when it comes to tracking is ensure that you've got the correct serving / portion sizes with whatever recipes you're making. With that first tip, really keep on top of accuracy with your tracking, all those little bits and those portion sizes as well. Now, in addition to these points that I've mentioned, it might also be an opportunity for you to change up how you could potentially be tracking. Okay, so changing up your tracking routine, for an example. So if you're someone that tracks everything at the end of the day, why not try after every single meal tracking and ensuring you're getting accurately things tracked afterwards real time rather than waiting until the end of the day to track everything, because that's where we may have a tendency to forget some things. If we track everything at the end of the day, we're likely to have less energy. Perhaps we could do it little by little after each meal as we go. A second option could be to track a few things in advance. Again, if, for example, like tonight on a Sunday, you know some things you're going to be having for regular snacks or for regular breakfast throughout the week. You can put those in now, ensuring you accurately track them, thinking about what you're going to have ahead of time, less time taken out of your day during the week, and also a time where you can think about planning ahead as well. Another final thing I want to mention is when it comes specifically to your meal choices, have a little think about how you can include some more of your 0-point foods and indeed non-starchy veggies into your meals as well. Not only these are going to be helpful because they're either low or 0 in personal points, but nutritionally they're going to be very beneficial to you on the weight loss journey. And just a little reminder, guys, I want to show you on my other phone real time how you can find some of your 0-point foods and some of the veggie recipes as well. So let's just pop onto the app quickly. So we've got our My Day page with all the points. I want you to scroll down to the bottom, and at the very bottom, you're going to see here where it says your 0-point food. So if you ever need a reminder, that's the section there. Also, I want to show you where you can find some great recipes to include more veg. So if you click the Explore Recipes, you're going to come to this tab. If I just scroll down a little, there'll be a section that says Go Veg. And in here, you're going to find a lot of veggie recipes or recipes that have a lot of vegetables in, which are going to be nutritionally beneficial to you on the weight loss journey. Okay. The second point I want to bring up, and this has to do with movement. And when it comes to weight loss and overcoming a plateau, something that can be really helpful is just a little bit of movement or activity where you can. And I want to stress with this, like, activity doesn't have to be going to the gym or going for a run or doing something really intense. It can be something as simple as taking the dog for a walk if you have a dog, or just going out for a walk anyway. It could be doing a sport or an activity you enjoy, dancing, bowling of some kind, anything, absolutely anything. Even gardening could be in there as well. So I really want to stress that when I say activity or exercise or working out, it doesn't have to be anything like a gym session or something really intense. The reason this is helpful is because it's actually been proven that people who do incorporate regular exercise and activity are going to have a 20% higher increase of positively impacting their weight loss. Okay, so you're giving yourself a 20% extra boost to help towards reducing that weight that you want and getting over that plateau. All right. We've got some great on-board partners that we use for our workouts as well, which are called Obey, and we have a great selection of on-board workouts. And we also have some walk talks, which are inspiring style podcasts, designed to give you a motivational topic whilst encouraging you to get out and do a little bit of activity. To show you what these look like, I just want to bring them to life in a quick screen recording, and you'll be able to see what they look like now. So check this out.
So on the My Day page, scroll down to where it says activity, scroll down to the very bottom where it says workout with Obey, and tap in here to find all of the different workout options available. We've got everything from strength to yoga, cardio, and HIIT. Now, in addition to this, we've also got walk talks, which are motivational podcasts guided to be done whilst you're either out for a walk, cycle, or perhaps even at a gym session. So if you go to the Discover section, which is the newspaper icon, and then scroll down, and you'll see the section where it says walk talks, sort of towards the bottom. And here's the most recent one, talking about better sleep with Olivia Arizolo. So to try out both of these options in the app now and see how you get on with your activity.
Now, the last point about plateaus, and this is probably one of my favorite ones and really, really important to remember, guys. And this is what we like to call reflecting on your non-scale victories. And this is important for our mindset, not just in challenging weeks, but also to remember even when things are going well. And Caroline, back to your point earlier about motivation, for anyone else that might be joining and is feeling a little bit demotivated, this has been one of the best techniques, and I'll go through it with you very shortly, of how to increase that motivation when we are having a challenging time, but also to give ourselves a big pat on the back when even things are going well. And essentially, there's non-scale victories are things you recognize about the wellness journey that you're doing that aren't related to what the scale weight says, okay? So with that being the case, it's really important to have this in mind, to remember that it's more than just a number that's contributing to a more healthy and helpful way of our lifestyles. And in fact, implementing and recognizing a lot of the non-scale victories, which I'll go through shortly, and recognizing that makes us want to do more of them, which then in turn lead to more of a decline in our weight loss. So for example, if a non-scale victory could be planning more low point recipes, it could be getting more activity in, it could be getting better quality sleep and hydrating more. For examples, there are things that aren't about the scale weight. All four of these done well and consistently, and we recognize we do them, we're going to want to do more of them because we feel good for doing them. And all four of those things contribute towards the weight loss journey. So recognizing them is important for our mindset and also allows for continuity of these helpful behaviors. And what I'd like to do to round off today's live really nicely is actually get you guys, and I'll be doing it as well, to just participate in a very, very short exercise to recognize our non-scale victories. And we're going to do this really simply in 2 steps. So the first step, I'll bring graphic up on the screen now, is I want us to recognize one thing that's changed in the past week or so, aside from the scale weight. I'm going to give my example, and mine has been consistently doing yoga twice a week. Did it last week, and I've done it every week since the beginning of the new year. That's been something that's changed so far for me. Doesn't relate to the scale weight, but I felt amazing for doing it. And then in addition to that, the simple 2-step is just to recognize the impact that that change has had on your life. So again, 1 sentence, guys, just with relation to that step 1 of what that impact has had on that achievement, on that victory that it's had to your life. Again, I'll refer it back to my yoga example. I felt much more physically relaxed. It's also helped me to release some tension and help with my other gym training and physical training as well. And also mindsets felt really clearer. I felt very relaxed, a lot less stressed. I felt like I hold a lot of tension in the body. So doing the yoga has really helped me to release some of that. But now we've got our non-scale victories all recognized. All right, keep a note of these. And anytime you are feeling low on the motivation, use that quick 2-step example. All right, it will be really helpful. So with those 3 tips in mind, guys, that is 3 amazing ways that you can make a difference to your weight loss plateau. Whether you're going through one now or you are going to approach one in the future, we've got 3 great tips there. So accuracy with tracking, potentially changing up your tracking routine, moving more in any way, shape or form that you enjoy and is applicable to you, and recognizing those non-scale victories and implementing them, really important for mindset and to keep us going. And let's keep smashing the weight loss and wellness journey. I'll see you guys very soon. Thanks for tuning in.